Hello folks, Jonathan Milam here with a lovely vintage trumpet. This is a Conn 10B from probably about 1955. 1955 years older than me, in much better condition. Okay, the interesting thing about this is, of course, they had a 10B that was a later version. They used a Coprion lead pipe. On this one, they called the early one, ConnLoyalist.com, I think is what it is. Lots of great information there about vintage Conns. But on this one, they had the brass lead pipe, and so it's a little bit lighter. I had the late one a few years ago when I was living in Houston. I don't know if it's readily apparent, they put a big, and this is a spun copper bell. They called it Coprion, but and this horn is in very good shape. There's a few dings right here on the bell, the tuning slide crook. And one other thing I noticed, you've got a little gap there. The bottom is in, the top does not meet. Sometimes that happens when a horn gets, the tuning slide gets stuck, they'll cut a little bit here. I don't think that's the case because usually you can see it's a pretty aftermarket cut, but at any rate, kind of interesting, especially for a horn that is in this good a condition. There's one, I guess there might be a couple. I don't even know if you can see that. There's one ding here, and I just noticed another one like right there. Copper bells, you usually have all sorts of dents because it's a very malleable, soft metal. The tone is to die for. And this is a big bell. Just so happens I've got an Olds recording from almost the same 1952 Olds recording, 55 Conn 10B. Look at that. The bell it's only half an inch larger, but it really does look bigger, doesn't it? And again, this is the Conn 10B and the Olds recording. But a big, big bell and a naturally gorgeous sound to go with it. Now, Conn at the time was using a 433 bore for most of their horn. So right through this area, it's going to be a little smaller than a lot of trumpets. But the lead pipe, the receiver area, very, very comfortable blow. The one thing you're going to get out of this is a lot more endurance because it's not going to sap you through here. And when you got a large bell like this, especially copper, you're not going to get a bright tinny sound. In fact, I can't get a bright tinny sound out of this thing if I want to. And no cracking. If you're a real power player, you'll have this copper because you're not going to sound so blatting. You're not going to overload the bell. Can't really think of anything else to say. Just a few marks on this, little nicks. I don't know if you can see them. There's 4 or 5 on the way down. Incredibly good shape, as really is the case with this. Just was not played much. Nickel silver, usually you get spotty lacquer and it gets to looking real ugly. The lacquer on this is in great shape. A few scrapes here. I almost guarantee the person that did play this had rings. Might have been a woman with a lot of rings, who knows. But, you know, there's just a few scratch marks where you'd get that. And frankly, I think you'd about the same, the little nicks here. Okay, guess what I'm going to play? No, you're going to have to guess what I'm going to play. Okay, I'm going to play a little part of a chorus, most of the chorus, enough to give you a clue, and if I remember to the end of the video, I'll try and remind you what it is. If not, you'll have to comment section, and it's never too early to hit the like button. See, I have to do that before I start playing, because once I start playing, the likes really dissipate. But hit that like button, even if you think you might like it. You like the day, you like the time. Okay, let me think, what key was I going to do this in? I'll turn the sound down just a little bit, and I've been told I have too much reverb. Impossible. You can't have too much reverb. I went without it for so long, I am a little in hog heaven. A little bit much. Hello. Yep, little bit much, but not too much. Not too much. Okay. We'll cut it down just a little bit. Oh, I'm not in a cave anymore. Okay, let me see what this is. I'm gonna play this with the Reeves C2J. That thing it's large. It's an 11 drill, very dark sound, and with the copper bell, it ought to be pretty. Okay. Now for the rest of this, we'll play Christmas Time is Here, la da 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 da. Just a really neat song. Starts on the major 7th, and too bad we don't have a, well, I've got a keyboard, but I'm not going to bore you with the details. All right, this is with the Reeves 42C, very average mouthpiece. You can do anything you want with this. I mean, you know, it'll play anything nicely. If you want to, about as shallow a mouthpiece as I've got right down is a Jet Tone Custom Model B, and it'll give you a little more brightness to the sound for sure. All right, that's with a Jet Tone. Man, when winter comes, I used to play the piano, and I was in St. Paul for a while, and I felt like my knuckles never warmed once we got our first chill. 34 degrees today in Charleston. My wife came in and said, the bird bath is frozen over. Well, the birds never used it anyway. But, oh, my lips and knuckles seem to be freezing up on me. Okay, this is with a Reeves 24B, very deep and like a Bach 5B, and also with a 24 throat. And frankly, if you've got a big copper bell like this, why not make the most of it and just get the warmest sound you can? I really think this mouthpiece does a good job, a good blend with the horn. Okay, I guess that'll do it enough. We'll visit that first little jingle that I was playing, and it was a jingle. Don't know if it was a song or not. It went like this. Okay, how many of you remember the old Buick? That's wouldn't you rather have a Buick? A Buick. And when was that? Probably the 70s. And back then, you had some great songwriters that were laboring away in the markets trying to come up with good jingles, and that sure is a catchy one. All right, once again, beautiful horn, the Conn 10B. This is from 1955. Lovely mix of course, you've got your nickel silver here, and you've got your brass, and of course, don't forget, the very large Caprion bell. All right, as always, it's a pleasure to be with you. We've got our COVID-19 mask here. It's during that time. Do stay safe. Take care of yourself as we head into the holidays. Surround yourself with all the holiday cheer that you can. Find friends, and if not, find someone that needs help and try and extend it to them. As always, a pleasure having you on board. Take care. We'll see you next time.